Okay, hi guys, my name is Amanda, and I'm on the first negative. So first, to kind of recap what my opponent said, they think that terrorism currently stands as a threat to the world, which I'm not gonna argue with. Yes, that's true, but the travel ban only applies to the United States. So it's not terrorism in the world, it's terrorism in the United States that's important here. They also said that terrorist groups make their way into Western countries from their refugee countries in the Middle East, and their solvency claim was that a more secure screening system of travelers to and from these countries could help protect the United States from these terrorist groups. So going back to the first one, the travel ban is on Iran, Syria, Sudan, Libya, Yemen, and Somalia. And these 7 countries, or 6 countries, actually don't pose any serious terrorism threats to the United States. According to Alex Naureste, who's an immigration expert, nationals of these 7 countries singled out by Trump have killed 0 people in terrorist attacks on the United States soils between 1975 and 2015. In addition, since 1975, there have been only 6 Iranians, 6 Sudanese, 2 Somalians, and 1 Yemeni who have been convicted of attempting terrorist attacks in the United States. So none of them have actually been successful. And then he also brought up 9/11. Yeah, that was a big terrorist attack in the United States, one of the biggest ones recently, but it was committed actually by 19 terrorists. 15 were from Saudi Arabia, 2 were from the United Arab Emirates, 1 was from Egypt, and 1 was from Lebanon. So none of those terrorists were actually from any of the countries that are in the travel ban. So had the travel ban been in place, it would have had no effect on 9/11. So there have been no deaths on US soil due to attacks from refugees, specifically from these countries. Syria is largely emphasized. So over the last 4 decades, 20 out of 3.25 million refugees welcomed to the United States have been convicted of attempting or committing terrorism on US soil. Only 3 Americans have been killed in attacks committed by refugees. And that happened in the 1970s, and it was by Cuban refugees. So once again, the travel ban wouldn't have prevented these deaths. And so the Business Insider actually states that your odds of dying from a refugee terrorist attack are 1 in 46,192,893. So they're very slim. Moving on to their inherency claim that terrorist groups make their way into Western countries from their refugee countries in the Middle East. There's actually no correlation between refugees or immigrants and terrorist attacks in the United States. CNN did a report that 0 refugees from the countries included in this travel ban have killed anyone in terrorist attacks on American soil. And over the last 40 years, only 17 people from these countries have been convicted of attempting or participating in terror attacks on US soil. And then CNN also did a report that said, in fact, the primary perpetrators of major terror attacks have mostly been US-born citizens or permanent legal residents originally from countries not included in the ban. And so highlighting some recent terror attacks that have happened, probably the most prominent one around here is the San Bernardino attack, which is actually what inspired the travel ban. Neither of the shooters would have been affected by this ban. One of them was actually an American-born citizen born in Chicago, and the other one was raised in Pakistan and later on lived in Saudi Arabia. And she was able to become an American citizen through a K-1 fiancé visa, which actually still is in place, so she would still have access to the United States. And so onto their solvency claim, which was a more secure screening system of travelers to and from these countries could help protect the United States from these terrorist groups. So there actually already are intense screening systems for people from these areas. The Obama administration updated the Visa Waiver Program Improvement and Terrorist Travel Prevention Act of 2015, which actually stated that anyone who has traveled to Syria, Iraq, or any other country, area of concern, or a country that is designated by the Secretary of State or any other provision of law as a country the government of which has repeatedly provided support of acts of international terrorism, or in any other country or area of concern designated by the Secretary of Homeland Security is not permitted into the country without, I think it was a 60-day hold. And so this act is still in place, and it merely slows the process of allowing these people into the country rather than restricting it completely. And lastly, there are immigration laws that ensure the entry of only positive contributing members of society. So the Immigration Act states that they exclude criminals, national security threats, and numerous other categories of excludable people, while the broad immigrant and non-immigrant work visas supposedly identify which foreigners are most valuable. So that ensures that people that are coming into the country will contribute to society positively. So overall, the travel ban is not necessary because we already have restrictions in place that cause the country to be safe.